Liberty Bell, where the 76ers are looking to take on a Western Conference opponent. Great to have you with us, everybody, live on 2K Sports alongside Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. I'm Kevin Harlan. Our starting lineups will look at the matchups here and who we'll see for our starting five for both teams. And guys, what are we going to be looking for in this one from Larry Sanders?
Well, the one thing that you have to have in basketball is big men who can protect the rim, and that's what Sanders does. He's willing to go up and block shots, really patrol the paint, and protect that rim area.
Yeah, you know, but there's nothing easy in the lane when Sanders is on the floor. Always have to be looking over your shoulder if you plan on putting up a shot with him around. Look at Portland. They're looking to start this road trip off with a win and continue their winning streak.
They're trying to get this long road trip off on the right foot with the win here.
Well, the worst thing you can do is start a long trip with a loss. And you want to play well, obviously, but if you can get a victory right out of the gate, it can set the tone for the entire trip.
It's one thing to intimidate with your play, and it's another to get in the face of a player's shot you just blocked. Last season, Ibaka took it to that next level and ruffled some feathers by doing just that.
George fires. Portland grabs the miss. Coming into this, having notched a win against the Rockets in their last game.
And you just had to admire the versatility they showed offensively that day.
Yeah, their scoring came from all over the place. If one approach didn't work for them, they found another that did.
Rips down the breakaway slam.
Well, that's the easiest opportunity an offense can get off a steal.
Exactly. No defense for that.
And speaking of Ibaka getting feisty, I remember seeing him get into it. In fact, with Coach Brooks when he was subbed out of a game, there was that flagrant foul against Blake Griffin. He's got a feud.
Well, he's showing a little bit of a hot-headed streak, Kevin. I like that. A little feistiness. You like that from your big men. You know, you want them to be tough.
Showing emotion.
Exactly.
Passion.
As long as you control the emotion.
Well said, Steve. It's stolen by Ibaka. Takes the lead pass. And Durant sends it back. Dang against Rubio. Dang dishes to Durant. Back to Dang. From about 19 feet. A basket good off the assist from Durant. If you're just tuning in, we played about 2.5 minutes here in the first.
Boy, 76ers had a season they'd like to soon forget. But the one thing they were able to do last year was win at home. Good thing, too, given how unforgiving Philadelphia fans can be. No tougher sports fans in all of sports than Philadelphia.
Portland trailing here. Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
I was able to catch up with the head coach of the 76ers. Defending Kevin Durant is one of their focal points in this matchup. He told me that Durant gives defenders problems because he can pull up and shoot at any time from any distance. He said usually you can try and funnel and trap a player, but with Kevin, there isn't really a way to force him out of his range.
Always great to hear from you, Doris. Sanders with a screen on Ibaka. It's Durant with the drive. There's the pass to Vasquez. Sanders. Trailblazers moving the ball around. Vasquez kicks to Sanders. And he hits it to tie the game up. And back to the 76ers at home. Never a good idea to be under 500 at home in a city that has booed Santa Claus before. Steve, luckily they were able to avoid that, going 23-18 here last season.
Well, maybe Santa Claus had a bad year that year, Kevin. I don't know. But look, I mean, if you're stinking it up in front of Philly fans, they're going to let you know. I mean, they're going to boo you. They're brutally honest. On the flip side, though, when you play well, they're going to back you.
Durant, defended by Young. Dang passes to Vasquez. Pocket 6. Gibson. Goes straight to the defender for the dunk. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line. Serge Ibaka picks one up there. Stupendous rush to the rim and a mighty slam on the end of it.
But through the teeth of some pretty soft D, I can't help but say that.
Well, let's see how that impacts things here, because those kinds of plays sometimes can be game changers on both sides.
Well, Blazers coach Terry Stotts is a branch on the tree of head coach George Karl, and that's a pretty good tree to be on. In his playing days, Karl coached Stotts in the CBA, and actually Stotts had a pretty good career in Europe. My goodness, he sure can get off the ground.
One of the best in the business for sure. You're right.
Such an imposing finisher around the rim. Intimidating to the defense, really.
The 76ers trailing. This game coming on the heels of their win against Toronto.
You know, their percentage from long range that game was off the charts. It seemed like every time the home crowd got going, it just took the wind out of their sails with another three-point barrage.
Yeah, those bombs were really falling.
And for Terry Stotts, after his playing days, he coached as an assistant under George Karl, both in the CBA and then with the Sonics and the Bucks.
And over 2 decades of coaching experience. This is his 6th season overall as an NBA head coach. Remember, he coached the Hawks as well as the head man. But I thought did a nice job with Portland last season.
So Portland ends up going with the new group.
Well, he could have done a little better on that trip to the foul line, but he was able to tie this game up.
He feeds it to Bell. Paul George with the steal. Oh, here we go. Rubio's got it on the fast break chance. And Young kicks to George. Trains it from beyond the arc. George has got 9. And let's get your take, guys, on the hustle stats for the 76ers.
Boy, their frenetic defense has really been impressive, putting a lot of pressure on ball handlers, turning them over.
They've gotten their fair share of points off turnovers so far tonight, too. They are really doing a nice job establishing a presence inside early.
That's going to open things up for them on the perimeter going forward, Clark.
Now, here is Humphries. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Rubio gets a screen from George. Shot clock at 6. Nice work there coming off the screen.
You can't leave him alone, especially from long range.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
Lewis outside. Passes it to Bell. Fires the 3. That's good.
This is great. 3-pointers going down quickly at both ends.
Yeah, it took them no time to answer back on that possession.
Humphrey sets a pick for Rubio. Back to
Look out!
Well, I tell you what, it was the good pick that was set that turned him loose.
And once he got around it, Steve, it was smooth sailing right to the hole.
Well, because of the pick, he had plenty of room. That's why he was able to power down that slam.
That's good. Williams has got his first points of the night.
You know, something we're seeing less and less of these days, that little finger roll.
Williams against Rubio. On the wing, George. From about 19 feet, they retain possession. And Rubio kicks to Young. But they'll get another chance. Pass to Ibaka. Persistence pays off as they finally hit a shot. And the 76ers lead by 3.
Serge Ibaka, born and raised in the Republic of Congo. We've had African-born players in the league for decades, but it seems that as the league has reached out to develop talent there, the numbers are increasing from that part of the world.
Already his second foul. He's in danger of getting into very serious foul trouble early in this game.
And the 76ers with a completely new group now. Now, here's Lewis. Right now averaging 5 points a game. Gets it to go. Lewis has got his first bucket in this one. And going back to Ibaka and growing talent coming from the continent of Africa. Steve, 1 billion people there.
Soccer is still the biggest sport there, but steadily the NBA has made inroads, providing courts and equipment and coaching around the continent. So you would expect more and more players to come to the league from Africa.
Dang and Mute and Hashim Thabit. We've got some notable players in the league from there.
Nice early advantage for them on the glass, guys.
You know, part of rebounding well early is just going after the ball and boxing out. I mean, establishing that tone so that you can maintain it later in the game.
Drench dishes to Williams. Aja Bell on the wing. He tries off the glass, but it's no good. The 76ers leading by 3.
Well, for the Portland Trailblazers, a new training staff hired over from Oklahoma City. They let go of their previous trainer who'd been with the team for 19 seasons. fair or not, I think the seat got hot after all the injuries that were really devastating this team.
Lewis with it. Now Green defending, and Gerald Green picks up the foul. That's his first foul. So Portland ends up going with the new group. There's 57 seconds left in the first quarter. Durant just inside the line. Portland no good that time either. And for the Blazers, statistically the most injured team in the NBA, Clark, from 2009 through 2012.
And the new training staff is advanced in not just injury treatment, but injury prevention. And that's key, using strength bands, recording baseline measurements for muscle strength and flexibility, even using Eastern medicine. So they're not leaving any stone unturned.
Here is Vasquez after the made shot from Green. No good from Gibson.
You know, that mid-range jump shot is not his strong suit, even when he gets a good look like that.
Back to Jones. Kicks it to Knight. Knocked away. Johnson, the pass to Knight. And Gibson with the block.
Sixers ball.
And that's on a bounce. Philadelphia will retain possession. There's Green with the three. But they recover it. Great D that time from Durant. 3 seconds left, and it's good on the layup. Durant's got his first 2 points of the night.
Good defense, but you gotta love the finish with the finger roll over the top.
A good close contest so far as we finish the first quarter. Philadelphia. Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And looking at what we've seen from the 76ers, what do you guys think?
Pretty good start defensively. This club forced some mistakes and took advantage, and that's how they've built this lead.
And they've built the lead because not only have they forced turnovers, but they've taken care of the ball themselves. So that's a winning combination.
Brandon Knight is out there with Gerald Green. Then there's Robin Lopez. Then there's Jones. And it's Johnson in at the power forward. That's the group on the floor for Philadelphia. Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Gentlemen, for Kevin Durant, last season's probably his best yet. Among other things, he increased his assists while limiting his turnovers. Durant said, "It's just a matter of being patient and waiting for the play to develop, whether finding my teammate or finding a shot for myself. Guys," he said, "the game is slowing down for him, and he understands that to win it all, he has to get the best out of his teammates. He can't do it by himself."
Well, you have to like that focus on the team first. Thanks, Doris. Pass to Lopez, and stolen by Spates. Durant against Green. Dishes to Vasquez. The feed now to Copeland. He kicks to Vasquez. Sinks the triple. Vasquez has got 6 here in this quarter. And let's get your guys' take now on the hustle stats for Portland.
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
Well, the other thing they've done well is getting after shooters. They've closed out well, and they've really blocked a lot of shots in the half.
A nice shot by Knight. And we're a little over a minute and a half into the second quarter of action. Vasquez kicks to Copeland. Spades with a screen on Green. And down it goes, jamming that one home. Well, Clark, we've seen the lead change hands quite a bit in this one.
Yeah, we sure have. I mean, it's been a bit of a windshield wiper game. I mean, back and forth, the lead has gone 5 times, so no one in clear control yet.
I think both teams feel like they can win. They both have confidence. So we'll see which team can kind of ride the momentum and take control of this game.
And Portland making a change here. Bell's checked in. Vasquez with it, and it's Knight picking him up. The dish to Copeland. Feeds it to Vasquez. Portland moving the ball around. Bell. No good. And Philadelphia the other way now. This, of course, the first opportunity to play Portland this season.
And, you know, this is a team you want to capitalize on when you play them, but that wasn't the case last year. They split 2 games.
The Trailblazers have gone 3 of 4 from the floor here in the second quarter. He dishes it to Copeland. Sets up a 3. Rebound by the 76ers. And to touch on Steve's point real quick, I'll bet they consider that game they lost to them to be, the one that got away.
And I would think there's no doubt they're going to be looking to rectify that and sweep them this time around.
And it's Green missing.
It has not been an easy quarter for him, at least offensively speaking.
Vasquez dishes to Bell. He passes to Spates. He feeds it to Vasquez. Now the pass to Bell. 5 on the clock. Vasquez. And the call will be against Dante Jones. That is his first foul of the game.
Oh, yeah, he had not established position.
I prefer the refs to whistle with a block when in doubt. I thought that was a good call there.
Williams in the post. Covered by Rubio. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Well, when you play against teams in the West, you need to have a solid front court or you're going to struggle. And last year the Sixers thought they had the answer with Andrew Bynum, but he never played a game for him, so they really struggled against the West.
Harry Sanders is checked in for Portland. Gibson comes in for Maurice Spates. And trouble it was for the 76ers against the West, Clark, as you were talking about. They would end up with just a 12-18 record against the conference. And many wondering, Steve, what could have been.
Well, and 12-18 isn't actually that bad considering, the state of the roster with the injuries and the new players. So I thought all in all, the 76ers fought hard most of the year, but they just didn't have enough in the tank.
Here's George. And it's Chris Copeland with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Luol Deng is checked in for Portland. Back to Humphries. Passes it to Rubio. Kicks to Humphries. Shot to end this cold run. And there's the 3-second violation. Well, free throw shooting. Such an important part of the NBA game. And as the 2-guard position goes, these have been the best in the league over the last 10 games. Second is Paul George.
Well, we've gotten used to seeing a lot of terrific free throw shooters from the 2-guard spot, but even so, it shouldn't take away from what these players have been able to do up there.
Yeah, that's right, because all they have done up there is convert their chances. That's it, plain and simple. These are the steadiest hands you're going to find, not just at their position, but in the league overall.
And they have to mix it up defensively. That was just too easy.
Williams kicks to Bell. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Nick Young. That's his first foul.
And they're 1 away now from being in the penalty.
Yeah, now's not the time to be careless. The next one sends them to the line.
Williams kicks to Bell.
It's just been one of those days for him. He has really struggled.
Gibson passes to Williams. Humphries with the steal. Deflected. Back to Rubio. Rubio right side. Ibaka dishes to Rubio. Outside, George. Can't tie it up as that one's no good.
He hit a 3 in the first, but so far has been unable to capitalize here in this quarter.
No good from Bell.
He's been wayward and just off on about everything he's put up in this period.
And George kicks to Rubio. And that one's good. And it's now only a 1-point Trailblazer lead.
Boy, I'm surprised he took that shot. He was at a huge size disadvantage in that matchup, but boy, great job to bury it.
Williams passes to Deng. Portland again missing.
When he's wide open like that, he'll rarely miss those. Well, Luol Deng, originally from South Sudan, his family moved to London when he was a teen, and then for him, on to the United States, a worldly player for sure, and he's been involved in a lot of causes, both here in the U.S. and internationally.
5 to shoot. And here's Young from the arc. That's good. Young's got 6 points. Clark, a lot of give and take between these sides early.
Kevin, how about 6 lead changes in this half already?
Yeah, good one here, guys. This is going to be fun to watch. 2 evenly matched teams, both teams playing hard.
And Bell kicks to Williams. Left side, Williams. Bell dishes to Sanders. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over.
Here's a look at some stats for Serge Ibaka. You see some nice numbers from him over his past month. First in blocks, second in field goal percentage, and he's been a terrific rebounder as well, in the top 10 in that category per game.
And you pointed out that his blocks per game average, Steve, is the highest in the NBA. I mean, he's leading the league in that category. It's there in the low post where he's been most valuable to his team, in my opinion.
And the whistle blows. He decides to foul intentionally for some reason. Odd.
I'm not sure why you would foul right there. That's obviously not the smart thing to do, so a mistake there.
And Portland making a change here. Spates checked in for Sanders. John Lure comes in for Taj Gibson. Rashard Lewis, he's checked in for Luol Deng. And Kevin Durant is subbed in for Raja Bell. The Trailblazers have gone 4 of 10 in the second quarter from the field. And Durant backing in. Fader on the way. They get it back. Lure the pass to Lewis. Dishes it to Lure. Shot to stop the run. And a strong finish with two hands. Philadelphia's gone 1 of 3 from way outside since the start of the second quarter. The drive by Rubio. Nick Young on the wing. Durant with the steal. Williams with the ball. It's Ibaka picking him up. Durant for 3. Durant with another miss.
Got a good look, though. I thought that was going to go down.
Well, the D may have done just enough there, Clark, to bother him and throw that shot off.
And the 76ers decide to take their first time out here.
You know, at 33 and 49 on the season last year, the Blazers were well below 500, but they were a 500 team against the Eastern Conference.
So for the Trailblazers, now we get a chance to check out the standings out east already. We are in December. We'll take a look at the 76ers. And, of course, Philadelphia. They're tied right now. Vasquez with it. He has 6. Fires from deep. Shot misses. Good work defensively by Jones. Portland, as you said, was 500 against the East last season. They were 15 up and 15 down. You know, you look at how other teams with that record fared against the East, and Steve, 500 isn't bad.
Well, usually when you finish 16 games under 500 for the season, as the Blazers did, you don't go 500 against either conference. But, you know, they happen to just have a good matchup, apparently, with a lot of their Eastern opponents, and they did pretty well.
Now, here is Knight, defended by Vasquez. Knight kicks to Green. 6 to shoot. For the key. Rebound by the Trailblazers.
I think it's going to be tough for them to trim this deficit if he keeps missing those kinds of shots, Kevin. I mean, they need his points.
Well, his shot blocking is always a factor, guys. That presence around the rim defensively just changes the whole picture strategically.
And, Steve, he's also the player they rally around at the defensive end. I mean, they cause some real havoc when he's out there running the show defensively. Guys, it's no surprise that a young team like the Blazers found it difficult sledding on the road. Not quite the experience or edge needed to put together good performances on a nightly basis away from home.
And there's the call on Durant. That's his first foul.
Yeah, close, but I didn't think he got on balance quickly enough.
And it's hard to draw charges as quick as players are at this level. That's not an easy bit of work there.
The Trailblazers making a switch here. Spates is checked in. Well, for the Blazers, statistically, they played as close as you could ask for as to when they played at home, but they didn't really have the roster to protect the rim and Steve forced turnovers, which is always a big help on the road.
Yeah, their interior defense was a problem last year. A lot of teams just ate them up, particularly when Portland would go out on the road. That's one of the reasons they finished 11-30. You have to be able to defend at a high level to win away from home.
Now here's Vasquez. He's guarded by Knight. Off his leg. And they're saying he kicked the ball. Taj Gibson's checked in for John Lewis. Now here's Vasquez. Defense right on him. Now here is Knight. Right now averaging 5 points a game. No shortage of drama here early on.
Well, neither team can grasp control of this thing. I mean, both teams trying to get a hold of it.
What do you think, Steve?
Well, yeah, 8 lead changes already. I mean, that's a big number this early in the game. So we're in for a treat tonight. This is a competitive matchup.
Oh,
how about that, basketball fan?
Beautiful.
Wow.
Talk about putting something extra on it. That dunk was way over the top.
Close game or not, Clark, he's going to finish firm when he gets the space.
Still, I mean, it's startling that he'd even try that.
And the first half ends in a close one. 76ers lead by 2. Well, folks, stay tuned for the halftime show at Damon Bruce for all the highlights from our first half. Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far.
Talk about being on his game. Look at the numbers for George. He has 11 points, and he's played the role of the pest today, too. I mean, he's caused a bunch of turnovers.
And those steals are all the evidence you need of just how high his basketball IQ is. He really sees the floor well defensively.
Well, we've got a moment. Let's set the floor. Brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up for the second half. On the court right now for the Trailblazers, we've got Dang. Durant is out there with Vasquez. Then it's Sanders, and it's Gibson in at the 4.
After taking a year to play elsewhere, it seems Gerald Green finally found his role on an NBA team in the 2011-12 season, but he just couldn't find the traction expected with the Indiana Pacers last year. Boy, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark power on the dunk.
Hey, guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
Second half just getting started. About a minute played. Vasquez kicks to Durant. All alone. And again, it's Portland converting. And for Gerald Green, a 3-year, $9 million contract with the Pacers to start last season.
Yeah, they were hoping for more out of him, Kevin. He just never really settled into a role with the Pacers, and that was disappointing because Indiana's bench, I thought, really showed some weaknesses during that great playoff run they had.
Boy, that's some physical basketball out there. I'm glad I'm not in the middle of that. A hard pick and an assault on the bucket.
Old school stuff there.
Yeah, there was a lot to like on that play.
Here's Gibson. Lays it up, and despite of the excellent defense at that, Gibson's got 7.
Nothing but money for him to start the half. They've made all 3 of their shot attempts.
And we're just about 2 minutes into the second half now. And that one's good. 9 points in the game so far.
And they've made 3 of their first 4 shots here to start this half.
Now here's Vasquez. He's guarded by Knight. Vasquez dishes to Durant. Working on Jones. Post-up shot. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Kevin Durant.
Well, his heart might be in Oklahoma City now, but growing up, Kevin Durant said he wanted to be, of all things, a Raptor. That's right, he was a Raptor fan. A lot of it, he said, was just wanting to be part of something new.
A different look now for Portland. Viadrinch comes in for Larry Sanders. And Spates subbed in for Taj Gibson. Now Knight. He's got 9. Pass to Green. Goes up and lays it nice and easy. Green's got 11. And going back to Durant, I'm sure the Raptors would have loved to have had him. I got to be honest, I did not know he grew up a Raptors fan.
I had no idea. I'm guessing maybe he fell in love with Vince Carter at the dunk contest.
Maybe that was it, yeah. There's the feed to Vasquez. And the foul called on Brandon Knight. That'll be his second foul of the game.
That's his second personal foul.
And Durant, here we go, with a lead. That's good from Vasquez on the assist by Durant. Durant's got his third assist on the night. Now, here is Knight, defended by Vasquez. Knight passes to Lopez. Beatrice with the steal. Durant with it, and it's Knight picking him up. Vasquez kicks to Spates. And again, it's Portland converted.
That's a clean look they gave him there, fellas, and he drains those. Well, there's a new ownership group in Philadelphia as of 2011, and in this offseason, they pulled the trigger and brought in new leadership in the front office. Looks like they're jumping on the analytics bandwagon, hiring the former brain trust of the Houston Rockets.
And here's Vasquez. He's got 11. Durant attacking, and he takes that one up and powers it through. And guys, what do you think about the hustle stats here for the Trailblazers?
Boy, defensively, they've played with a high energy level, guys, and all the steals we've seen, really a result of that aggressiveness.
You know, adding to that, Steve, you look at their block totals tonight, and you see how feisty they've been on the defensive end this game.
And back to the Sixers. I guess for the Wall Street ownership group, going mathematical is something they were, Steve, pretty comfortable with.
Well, it's something that a lot of teams are going to now, Kevin. The new owners, a lot of them businessmen, they want to turn to math to try to figure this whole thing out. Bottom line, though, is it's a combination. It's not just stats. It's talent, stats, chemistry, coaching, a lot of things that goes into winning.
The Trailblazers making a switch here. Larry Sanders is checked in for Beatrice. Lewis comes in for Luol Deng. Raja Bell, he's checked in for Kevin Durant. And Terrence Williams subbed in for Vasquez. And the Trailblazers making a change here. Gibson's checked in. The drive by Green. Out of bounds. Portland takes possession. Well, the shooting guard position is where teams look for a lot of their points. And these players, the highest scoring among them, haven't disappointed. Paul George on top.
And it's his explosiveness that jumps right out at you. He exploits gaps in the defense better than any player in the league. If there's an opening, he'll find it.
And the opening doesn't have to be there long, Steve, just a nanosecond. I mean, that's the burst this fella possesses. Even a hint of daylight, and he'll be right by you.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket.
I got to find some, you're right. Right side, George. Defended by Bell. And George, here we go. And that is good. George has got 13 points.
That's kind of his strong suit, the ability to find his way through the defense and finish at the rim.
Bell dishes to Gibson. Pulls up on the wing. Not enough on that one as it misses. For Philadelphia, they've gotten 5 of 8 shots to fall for them in the third quarter. A nice 62% from the field. George gets a screen from Ibaka. And George kicks to Rubio. And the 76ers get it back. And it's all evened up. So timeout called here, the first for Portland.
Well, Chris Humphries signed by the Nets last season to that 2-year, $24 million contract. Didn't quite live up to the expectations, at least offensively, because in that part of his game, his numbers went south. Rebounding the ball, he was good as ever.
Andres Beatrice is checked in for the Trailblazers.
Let's see how the 76ers have performed over the last few weeks. First in rebounding, first in blocks, and they're ranked third in outside shooting, three-point percentage, that is.
And probably what impresses me the most, Clark, out of all those stats you're talking about is the rebounds per game, because this is a team that has become very physical. They'll put a body on you, and they'll really dominate the paint if you don't stand up to the task and really attack them back.
And for Humphries, a tough season. He fell in and out of the rotation.
And he's been pretty consistent over the last 5, maybe 6 seasons. So we'll see if he's able to return to his normal numbers where he's a starting caliber big man.
Rubio, the pass to Humphries. Down to 5 on the shot clock. On its way from Young for 2. Again, Philadelphia. Here's Williams. 6 points for him. They get a hand on it.
Timeout for the 76ers.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Sixers champions.
Timeout called the 76ers. And as with any timeout at this point of the game, important to go over the strategies that are working and those that are needed in terms of adjustments. And, of course, the opportunity, guys, to get hydrated with Gatorade before coming back onto the floor. We've seen some good action so far, and there's more of it to come.
Yeah, this game has been physical. It's been fast. It's been high-paced. So anytime you're in a situation like this where it's really a hard-fought game, critical to keep yourself hydrated throughout.
It's off his foot, and it's whistled a kick. Here's Vasquez. He's got 11. He muscles it in through the contact, and they call the foul. And he's on his way to the free throw line.
You know, no matter what you do with Durant defensively, nothing bothers him. You try to be physical with him. You know, that's probably your best bet. But that's easier said than done because he can get around you with that speed and quickness. But really what he's looking to do is create space and shoot over the top.
And you've just highlighted a lot of what he has from a skills standpoint, but it's his demeanor, that unflappable nature, that always in attack mode. He's got the quick release. He's got the size to shoot over most any defender. And he can go for buckets in a hurry.
Oh, man, what a play.
I don't know that this is the time for that kind of flair. In a close game, the important thing is the 2 points, not the dramatics.
Oh, come on, Clark. He had to go for it, didn't he?
I'm with you, Kevin. You can't fault him for that. I mean, just let him go. Who cares? Well, a lot of basketball pundits, so to speak, would like to eliminate lottery pick protection outside the top 3 from trades. They feel it gives teams too strong an incentive to tank. You look at the Blazers last season, they owed their pick to the Bobcats if it was 13th or lower, and they finished the season 8-26 after going 500 at that point. So maybe a little suspicious.
Back to George. Young outside. The 19-foot shot gets it to go. Young's got 4 points this quarter. And, guys, what do you think about the hustle stats for the 76ers?
Their high-energy defensive effort has paid off for them, guys, with more than a few steals over the course of the ballgame.
And the other thing they're doing is they're forcing turnovers and then converting those miscues into points at the other end.
Well, Clark, going back to the Blazers, they finished the season among the worst defensive teams in the entire league.
And that's where they've got to improve, Kevin. They did a decent job denying looks on the perimeter, but they didn't get blocks or steals, so not a real force defensively. And among the worst in fast break points and points in the paint as well, so they clearly have some areas they can shore up.
George. They get it back. Here's Rubio. And good, as it just snugs right down through the net. And Clark, a great competitive game so far.
Yeah, tit for tat. I mean, back and forth, plenty of lead changes, and excellent play.
These two teams, guys, look so evenly matched to me. I think this could go right down to the wire.
And it's stolen by Ricky Rubio. And that basket's going to count, folks. Gets the goaltending call right there.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
Now here's Vasquez. He's guarded closely. Sanders with a screen on George. Shoots off the screen.
Looked to me like the defender didn't get squared up and get his feet set.
Good work by the officials. A nice call. That play can be tough to judge sometimes.
That's good from Gibson.
Some great free throw shooting so far in this second half.
I think they should keep trying to initiate contact and get back to the line until they start missing from there. But as it is, they're perfect so far, so keep it up.
There's a 4-second difference from the shot clock to the game clock. And Green gets it to go.
That's his first three-pointer of the half. Remember, he did make one in the first half as well.
Vasquez dishes to Durant. He kicks it to Biedrich. It's stolen by Jones. And that's going to do it for the third quarter. Philadelphia. And thanks for joining us again as the fourth quarter of play is set to get rolling. It's been a close battle to this point. And Portland has possession, trailing by 5. Jones is out there with Ivan Johnson. Then there's Brandon Knight. Then there's Gerald Green. And it's Lopez in at the 5 down low. That's the group on the floor for Philadelphia. Vasquez, that's good.
Something's starting to click for this team, guys. You can feel it. The three-pointers are dropping. Their offense is flowing.
They've had a great second half from long range.
Here.
Oh, man, that was unreal.
Mark it up.
What a great battle these teams are waging today.
Yeah, you get the feeling, Steve, the game could swing on just one or two plays down the stretch.
Knight with it. Right side, Green. From out on the wing, he knocks it down. Green's got 10 points here in the second half.
We're seeing him bring that shooting percentage up now, guys. The first half was a struggle for him.
Vasquez with it, and it's Knight picking him up. Durant. That doesn't go either for Durant.
They've been strong on the boards. There's no disputing that.
That's what the box score says. Still anybody's game, though.
Jones kicks to Johnson. It's stolen by Dang. Final quarter of play, about a minute and a half off the clock into it. Up top, Sanders. Pass to Gibson. 6 on the shot clock. And stolen by Knight. And he caps off the fast break with a monster slam.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
It feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
Now a timeout called by Portland.
Well, Brandon Knight out of Kentucky is more of a combo guard than a pure point when you look at him offensively. But with his long arms and good athleticism and at 6'3", I think there's a lot of upside for him at the defensive end of the floor. I think he's a guy that could defend 1 and 2s effectively.
A different look now for Portland. And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Yes, I had a chance to find out what the Trailblazers head coach was going over with his guys. The three-pointers obviously have been hurting them, and he told his players, we've simply got to play them tighter on the perimeter. We can't afford to give them these wide-open looks. Kevin?
And for Brandon Knight offensively, he's still trying to figure it out.
I think he's best as a spot-up shooter. I mean, he does have some point guard skills. He's got some athleticism, but he's really an excellent outside shooter when he's got time to set up.
Philadelphia leading by 3. Taken away by Williams. Here's Bell. Great touch on the 16-footer.
And this game is really heated up. I didn't think it could get any more high scoring than it already was.
Well, there's always room for more offense, Steve. You know that.
Williams against Knight. And boy, that looked like goaltending. Yes, it is. And so they will award the basket there.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
Trailblazers trail by 3. And the foul called on Brandon Knight. And that'll be his third foul so far.
That's his third personal foul. Second team foul.
And over 2.5 minutes in the books here in the fourth. Terrence Williams on the wing. Now the dish to Lewis. The kick out to Williams. Good ball movement here by the Trailblazers. And for three, Bell. And another three for Portland.
Boy, I tell you what, he loves getting looks like that from the three-point line. No one near him. That's a warm-up jumper for him.
Green against Bell. The drive by Green. Feeds to Jones. He dishes it to Knight. 4 on the shot clock. Takes the three. They get it again. They kick it out to Green. Outside, Jones. Stolen by Lewis. And now Portland on the break. Williams with the ball. And it's Knight picking him up. He feeds it to Lewis to take the lead. And the Trailblazers getting another bucket right there.
Boy, what a half from the field they're having. They're going to extend that lead if they stay this high.
Now they've taken it up another notch, Clark. Looking very confident out there.
Williams against Knight. Williams passes to Spates. Back to Williams. Aja Bell on the wing. And there's the pass to Williams. Clock at 6. Beatrice down low. Lopez is there. The kick out to Williams. Lewis outside. Aja Bell on the wing. Back to Lewis for the three. Here's Beatrice. And at last they get one to fall.
Nothing too fancy, just simple execution. That's getting the job done when they need to make every possession count.
I agree, Clark. They need stops, and they can't afford any wasted possessions. Those inside shots are really high percentage looks.
Good.
Excellent execution of the plan there.
Portland leading. At the conclusion of this game, they're off to Detroit, where they'll face the Pistons. That'll be game 2 of 4 straight on the road.
Yeah, a lot of fans focused on that matchup for Detroit.
Lewis with it. Now Green defending. Lewis dishes to Bell. The Trailblazers need to get off a shot. And now here comes Jones leading the break. Knight with it. Now guarded by Bell. Johnson left side. It's hauled in by Andres Beatrice. Beatrice has got rebound number 8 here tonight in the game. Kicks it to Bell. Bell off the pick from Lewis. Bell passes to Lewis. Dishes to Beatrice. Back to Lewis. And now Williams inside. Working on Jones. Williams, that's good. And the Trailblazers lead by 4. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, I mean, a cold stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Trailblazers will take it. And the 76ers with a completely new group now. Now a timeout called by Portland.
Big problem for the 76ers last season was finding late-game offense. I mean, you look at a quarter-by-quarter breakdown of how they scored, and they were second to last in the league in fourth-quarter points.
A different look now for Portland. Trailblazers leading by 4. Now here's Vasquez. Passes it to Durant. Back to Dang. He passes to Durant. Young's there. Just 5 to shoot. Tipped. And George here.
Man, he got fancy with that one, didn't he?
Yeah, maybe trying to give them the momentum boost they need to break this game open.
Man, I like that. I mean, some coaches might want to see just a sure-handed lay-in, but say put as much as you can on the finish and get your teammates going.
The kick out to Dang. Pass to Vasquez. Off target from three-point range.
Boy, I'm shocked he didn't make that one. He usually knocks that one down with ease.
And Paul George again. George has got 4 this quarter. The Trailblazers have gone 7 of 13 from the field here in the 4th. Now here's Vasquez, covered by Rubio. And Durant backing in. An easy 2 points on the layup. Durant's got 19 points.
I wasn't so sure he could get it turned around after that poor first half, but he's got it rolling here a little bit in the second.
Rubio outside. Humphries sets a pick for Young. Humphries with a screen on Durant. And Young kicks to George. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. 1 free throw coming his way.
Outstanding job there to absorb the contact and guide it in.
That's how you impose your will against the defender. He came to play.
Now the free throw is good, now leading by 1.
He's just got such a smooth stroke, and it never changes, even in this kind of high-pressure situation.
Vasquez dishes to Dang. Young with the steal. By himself.
Boy, their defense making an impact here late, Kevin.
And straight off the steal, Clark, a perfectly run fast break ends in a slam dunk.
That could be a huge 4-point swing in this game.
The feed to Durant. Out of bounds. Philadelphia takes possession.
Got sloppy in a close game. You have to take advantage of every opportunity.
Philadelphia leading by 3. Rubio gets a screen from Humphries. He used that pick to get in close. 12 points here for Ricky Rubio.
So they've done a great job of getting into the middle of that defense and scoring in the paint.
Well, and that's why they're on this run, guys. They're getting the ball inside and getting really high percentage looks.
Durant defended by George. And Durant backing in. And it's Paul George with the foul. That's foul number 2 for him.
That's his second personal foul.
1:25 left in the 4th quarter.
Oh, yeah, he had not established position.
You know, I prefer the refs to whistle with a block when in doubt. I thought that was a good call.
Good on the first, and that shrinks the margin to just 4. Sanders hits them both.
That's got to be the biggest pair of free throws of the game so far, guys, because it turns this thing into a 1-possession game.
We've got 1:13 left here in the 4th quarter. The shot by George, no good. Trailblazers trailed by 3. Back to Durant. He kicks it to Vasquez. Durant. Outside Dang. 6 to shoot. And Durant backing in. And it's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over.
You know, sometimes the intensity of the game can lead to brain-neutral plays like that, guys.
Guys, they're not going to be in any rush on this possession.
Not with the lead. I mean, now's the time to use the clock to your advantage. Take your time. Milk the clock a little bit.
Gibson with the steal. 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
Oh, look out.
Oh, wow. And just look at what Durant is doing. My goodness.
Philadelphia's gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the 4th quarter. And they go to the intentional foul. 24 seconds left in the 4th quarter of this one.
Ooh, a pressure basket right there.
Now that's coming through in the clutch.
Time called here. The Blazers decide to talk it over. They're losing by 3. There's 21 seconds left in the 4th quarter. What's your take, guys?
Well, they've got 2 options here. They can go for the 3 and the tie, or the quick 2 and the foul.
I like the idea of going for the quick 2. Take it to the rim, and that wouldn't be a bad way to approach this situation.
Terrence Williams is checked in for Vasquez. He hits the first one, and that brings them within 2 here. And he makes both free throws. .20 seconds left in the 4th. And so they foul intentionally.
Yeah, you got to freeze the clock. I mean, that's the enemy in this situation.
A few misses at the line, and they're in good shape.
So he gets them both, and it's a 3-point game.
That last free throw was critical. Their only choice now is to go for the 3 to tie.
Durant against George. To tie it up. Can't knock in the 3. Wow.
Good solid defense on the perimeter there, challenging the shot and not fouling.
Even the best shooters can be bothered by his defense.
He drops the first one, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. And so he drops them both. It's a 5-point game.
And it just feels like those are the free throws that probably put this game out of reach.
Durant for 3. Misses! So Philadelphia wins it. They pulled off this win, Clark, with respectable performances on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I think it was just really a nice overall effort, Kevin.
Well, that'll do it.